He was actually from a different city, and he was sent there from outside as a foreigner, right, to go and preach there. Musa the same way. He was sent from a foreign land to Egypt to go and preach there. Right? So, but they're referred to as a brother of those people because they kind of, it's as though they've become part of the family. Right? They're now brothers of that tribe. So here as well, they referred to her as Ukhta Harun because she's from the tribe of Aaron. Right? Aaron is her ancestor, and her father Imran is from that lineage. Another explanation they give is that maybe Aaron was not the prophet Aaron, but there was an Aaron that was kind of like an exemplar of chastity, who lived at that time, or who lived in the recent history, and so they used to use this as almost like he was a symbol of chastity. So by calling her Ukhta Harun, they're referring to her past state. Like, we knew you to be chaste. The way they say that is like sister of this exemplar of chastity. Right? That was just a way to refer to someone who's very chaste, by attributing that person to this exemplar. Or the opposite. Some of the commentators say maybe it's the opposite. Maybe Aaron was a really terrible person, a terrible man who was very, very lascivious. And so by calling her Ukhta Harun, they're actually like making fun of her and saying, "Oh, like, look what you've done. Like you're now, it's almost like you're the sister of this very lascivious person." And so there are a couple of different explanations like that, but probably the first one's the best. That she's from the tribe of Aaron, and so they refer to her like this. And in a way, it's almost a way of like, imagine if there's a Sayyid in the community and he does something really terrible. He embezzles funds from the masjid or something. You'd be like, "You're a Sayyid and you do this?" Right? So by referring to him as a Sayyid, right, you're just reminding him of the heinous nature of his act. Like, how can you be from the family of the Prophet and do something so terrible? Right? So they're doing the same thing here. How can you be from the family of Aaron, like our Prophet Aaron, and you do something so awful? Okay. So they say your father was not a lascivious man. Right? He wasn't a bad man. So you didn't get it from his side of the family. Right? Your mother wasn't an adulteress, so you didn't get it from her side of the family. And so somehow you've come up with this bad gene in yourself that you've gone and you've done something so terrible, and out of wedlock you've had a child. It's a very, very heated situation. You can imagine if Maryam hadn't had that comfort from Isa before, and she didn't know that he was there to support her now, then this would be a terrible situation, because she has nothing to defend herself with, nothing except her word, and her word in kind of relation to the fact that she has a child and she's known not to be married, right? It's not going to hold any water. So she's in a very, very precarious situation. But because everything she's done is for the sake of Allah, and she was chosen for this position because of her chastity, because of her devotion to Allah, Allah never abandons His servants. She points to Him with total faith. Remembering what Isa has told her, remembering God's favor, she points to him. فَأَشَارَتْ إِلَيْهِ قَالُوا كَيْفَ نُكَلِّمُ مَنْ كَانَ فِي الْمَهْدِ صَبِيًّا. There, as she pointed to him, they said, the people who were around her, the Bani Israel, they said, "How can we speak to one who was yet an infant in his cradle?" Okay. Once again, they refer to the cradle. Literally, it seems like maybe he was in some sort of a basket or some sort of a container, like a bed. Allah Ta'ala says that because they used the word mahd, perhaps she went straight home and she had put him into a bed, sort of a bedding or something like that. And then people kind of saw her coming in, so they all came to the house of Zakaria to see what's the news with Maryam. And so when they come, she points to him in the bed, in the cradle. And then they say this: how can we speak to a baby who's yet in the cradle? Okay, that's one possibility. Or maybe better than that, they use this quite often, fil mahdi sabiya, because a baby is generally in the cradle. Like it's used almost like a symbol of being a baby. Like we'll say, for instance, there's a famous hadith: "Utlub al-ilm min al-mahdi ila al-lahd." Right? We don't literally mean like from the time you're actually in the cradle start learning. It's not possible. But it's a symbol, like to indicate this end of your life. The mahd is the cradle, and the lahd is part of the grave. And you're not going to be learning in the grave either. It's not a literal statement that you actually want to start learning when you're an infant and actually continue learning after you're dead until you put in the lahd. It's not reasonable. But it's an expression. It's a literary expression to show this end of the life and that end of the life at the extreme. So here as well, it could be a symbol for childhood. Right? How can we speak to a child Right? A child who's in a cradle, walking around, burping, like doing all these things that a child does. How can we talk to a child like that? Isa alayhi salam talks. قال إني عبد الله آتاني الكتاب وجعلني نبيا. He said, I am a servant of Allah. He has given me the book and made me a prophet. Let's see all that he says and then we'll continue. وجعلني مباركا أينما كنت وأوصاني بالصلاة والزكاة ما دمت حيا. He has made me blessed wherever I may be, and He has enjoined me to maintain the prayer and to pay the zakah as long as I live. وَبَرًّا بِوَالِدَتِي وَلَمْ يَجْعَلْنِي جَبَّارًا شَقِيًّا. And to be good to my mother, and He has not made me a miserable tyrant. وَالسَّلَامُ عَلَيَّ يَوْمَ وُلِدْتُ وَيَوْمَ أَمُوتُ وَيَوْمَ أُبْعَثُ حَيًّا. May God's peace be with me the day I was born, the day I die, and the day I am raised to life. The very first statements of Isa alayhi salam to the people are that I'm a servant of God. We'll see the last of his statements as well is Inna Allah Rabbi wa Rabbukum fa'budu. Allah is my Lord and your Lord, so worship Him. And the very first statement that he says to them, and the end of his first speech to them, shows his own servitude to God. I'm nothing but a servant of God. He's my Lord, right, and He's your Lord. And the significance of this is that he's preempting all the accusations and all the lies that are going to be created about him, that he is God because of this miraculous birth. Nobody but a God could be born like this without a father. Right? And that's in Christian theology. That's the key. That's the main reason why he's considered a God, because he's born in an inhuman way. There's no way a human being could be born like this, so he must be God. So right away, as soon as he's born, he's affirming that I'm not God, I'm Abdullah. I'm nothing but a servant of God. Then he says he's given me the book. The book here refers to the Injil. Right? He's not talking about the law in general, but he's referring to the book that he has been given. Right? Earlier we saw the phrase, he said, "Oh, yu'allimuhu al-kitab." Allah will teach him the book. Right? There, the book referred to the law. Right? Allah teaches the law to Isa alayhi salam in addition to the Injil. The Injil is referred to in parallel to the law. Whereas here he says, He's given me a book. Right? To give a book, you can't give the law to somebody, right? But you can give a book in which the law is written. So kitab here, the same word, it can refer to different things. Here it refers to the book, which is the Injil, which is going to be given to him. Whereas the kitab in the previous verse refers to the law in general. And He has made me a prophet. Yesterday I indicated there's a difference between prophet and messenger. The word nabi here, he's a prophet because he has naba. Right? Naba is information, news. Allah has given him all the knowledge that he needs and the knowledge that people need in general. And now it's his job as a prophet sent by God to go and teach that to all people. Right? So to be a nabi is a general, it's kind of a universal mission. That you're now a messenger to go and generally teach people about the religion. Arastu, on the other hand, he also said he's a rasulan ila bani Israel. He's a messenger specifically to